Yep. How you doing, Daniel?
Got you a latte if you want.
Oh.
I'm gonna give you one straw though, so that's not right.
That's all right. I'm not a big coffee person. I know it's odd, but
Well, you know what? I am.
so it's perfect.
Oh, here, I didn't know there was more. But you guys come grab a seat, I guess.
All right.
It's a really wonderful day outside. I'm Dan, by the way.
Hi, Corinne.
Nice. Corinne.
Corinne. Yep.
Dwayne. Okay, well.
Nice to meet you.
I thought the young lady that was in charge of all this was named Sue, perhaps.
Oh.
Is that not?
No, that's me.
Are you?
Well,
who is
so
one that is in charge of all this? Like who?
Like the investigator,
Yeah,
or
who's been running all this shit for
me?
years now, apparently.
Well, it's kind of changed hands. Obviously, it's probably 2 detectives worth of detectives that have gone through, or 2 decades worth of detectives that have gone through it. Multiple medical examiners. Sue was someone through the medical examiner's office that was part of it.
The reason why I'm asking about is me and my friends, we went and visited his John Doe grave. And
That's nice.
yeah, we want to kind of get that, put his name on there.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's in charge of all that stuff. Obviously, I thought the lady that was in charge of this was probably running that. So just kind of want to get that.
Yeah.
But
I can talk with my supervisor. I know there was talk about his headstone, so...
is his brother still alive?
Sai? He was when I talked to him.
Good.
Well, I talked to him about
I'm almost positive
4...
his mom's not around, so.
No, his mom is deceased.
She was a little, frail, tiny little thing.
Oh, was she?
Way back then.
Yeah, about, I'd say almost 4 years ago. Almost 4 years ago, I talked with Sai.
Okay.
And his mom was deceased at that point.
Sai knows though. So Sai knows though. That's it?
So we tried to get a hold of him. I don't think his phone works, or he doesn't have a phone any longer. So the medical examiner is the one who makes notification to family, so they've been attempting to get a hold of him. So I think at this...
It's a process.
Right, and when I spoke with him, it was basically told him, we believe that this is him. So I think he knew the writing on the wall at that point.
Gotcha. I mean, we all kind of wondered, like, where the fuck did Carl go?
Yeah.
But he was spiraling out of control at that time in his life, too.
Okay.
I think he broke out of jail.
Yeah, there was...
So we're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Carl's missing now, so I'm guessing he probably left Walworth County.
Right.
And I, personally, it was right around kind of fall time, I think, when he stopped showing up around. So I was thinking he joined the fair. He's always wanted to be a carny. So I was like, oh, fucker did it. It just sucks. Sucks.
Yeah, and there wouldn't have been a way to contact him outside of like a landline, phone number, or anything. Carl.
Oh.
Once he was gone, it was basically like, well, unless he reaches out, I don't know where to...
It was a 90s, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no... I mean, he might have had a page. I don't think he had a pager on it.
Okay. Because you were talking before that he had called you. Obviously, that would have just been on a landline.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that was on my grandma's landline. God, yeah, the big old rotary phone on the phone on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the last conversation I ever had with Carl.
Right.
Yes. Is there any sort of follow up on?
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure. What's your middle initial?
Joseph. I'm Joseph.
Okay.
So to J.
And your birthday?
February 6th of 1975.
Okay. So basically, just to recap, let's just start back, because honestly, you're probably the most knowledgeable person about Carl that I've had an opportunity to speak with. Because nobody knew he was gone, so there weren't really a lot of leads necessarily with his friends.
No, there's nothing.
Right.
Carl left that as about as mysterious as he was.
So you all went to what school?
Delevan during high school. But
Okay.
He was kind of was done with school in high school already. Like I don't know if he was either expelled or if he just stopped going. Like we all kind of one way or another got expelled. Like we weren't doing that good.
Right.
I mean, we were making dumb choices. I mean,
Right.
Carl would get really, really, really drunk. He had a really big problem with drinking.
Okay.
And when he was absolutely blacked out drunk, he would fucking wander off and break into places. And, like, try to steal shit that was, like, the most ridiculous shit that a person could possibly... Like I think he got in trouble trying to steal, like, a fax machine once or something. Like, he was, like, pulling it out of his... And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And, I mean, he was completely,
Right.
like, out of his head, so he didn't... I didn't think people could actually black out when I was younger until I got, like, 20-something. And then I actually was like, oh, fuck, you really can black out. Like, I just thought that was kind of like his, like... kind of like lame excuse. Oh, I blacked out. Yeah,
Right.
sure you did. But I mean, yeah, he was spiraling. He's living up here for like a hot minute. I ran him into him once, and then he moved back, or he either went to jail or something. Like I can't remember.
What was
know
like
that-
your guys' core friend group?
Well, okay, it's me, Sam, Carl, Rob.
Who's Rob?
When all this was going down, Ruben was... He was in jail, I do believe, at the time as well. And now the jail kind of... He was getting his life together. He got a bunch of... Well, he had a bunch of kids and such. So he was, like, starting off on the whole family life in that direction. Once he got out of jail. But I mean, we were all friends though in high school and such, middle school and such.
Okay.
And then my friend Skylar, who like Carl and I hung out a lot. He lived right by my grandma's house. Him and Sam hung out all the time. I mean, he was going out with Katie,
Right. And that's Sam's sister?
sister, and there was Sam's sisters were Katie and Sarah. Yeah. And Sarah was always on her own thing, and Katie always looked up to Sam. She was always trying to like dress like him and kind of act like him, hang out with us and such. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the story is true. Like happening on New Year's Eve, like 10 years ago. My friend Seth. By the way, he told me to give you his number as well.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Seth. Hello, Seth. Hey, what's up? I was just trying to get your telephone number off my phone, and I accidentally called you. Yep. All right, by the way, I just gave him your number now, so expect a phone call, I'm sure. All right, bye. Cool, that's that right there. Do you need any other numbers? I mean, I can give you Ruben, but I hate to get him involved in any of this kind of shit. Rob specifically told me to give you his number
Okay.
because he's been digging. Like, once we all heard about this, I'm the only one that heard this story. I didn't tell anybody really. Didn't really know what to do with it.
Right.
And I guess I could have gone to you guys back then because I guess you guys did have his body already. I hate saying that, but,
Right.
I didn't know that. And I was just like, how do you walk up to a police department and ask about, hey, do you guys want any dead bodies? No? Okay, I'll see you guys later. You know,
Right.
Figured that was not a smart. And then I didn't know if it was true. Like, how am I going to get that information? And I don't know. Have you guys tried looking into Sam? Like,
Yeah, well, like I was telling you on the phone, so I've heard
I know it's probably
bits and
not-
pieces.
I don't know if you can tell me or not, but I really
Right.
wanna
Well,
know.
and I can't really tell you a lot, but I can tell you that I've heard similar versions of this story. So, you know, I know you were worried about being the only person that came forward, and you weren't, which is good. So,
Anyway, I had to. I mean,
So I've heard similar
like,
versions.
Borderline hearsay.
Right,
I was just
right.
like, am I gonna fucking throw some people underneath the bus for this if it's just hearsay? But once I read in the paper that it was the same story as what he told me down there, except for in my story I had names. I was just like,
Right.
what the fuck? I was like,
So you said
I can see it. I can maybe what happened is there's an argument between Katie and them, and Sam or Carl came over with a vengeance. But I mean, Carl was a small guy, man. Like he was.
Right.
Both him and Sam were like $120, man. Wet, you know, like.
right.
Carl was not a threat. Like I mean, maybe he was. Maybe he came over and was doing something like horrible. I don't.
Right. Do you remember where Sam and Katie were living at that time? You said it was right by, like they had access to that creek.
The creek. Well, they all lived out in Darien.
Okay.
Creek Section Road. Family Street. Creek Road.
Okay.
I live in the trailer court outside of Darien. Sorry, trailer, not trailer court.
Okay. Was it like a mobile home park? Like
no, just their own little mobile home that was on top of the hill.
Okay.
It's been so long, Delevan. The street names are eluding me. I think it's Creek Road.
Okay.
And again, I was just like, oh man, I heard that it was at the house or wherever they were at the time. I don't know where. I mean, I don't know where Katie and them are all living. Like the family, I don't know. I don't know.
But that
that's
house.
The last that I knew.
Okay. Was that Sam's house or Mom's house?
Mom's house.
Okay.
Yeah, I think whatever she did.
Right. And there wasn't any discussion as to why Sam would want it, because it sounds like they were good friends. I mean, they're the only two that had those goat heads.
Yeah.
Where'd they get those?
Carl made them.
Oh, okay.
He was ridiculous. We all made fun of him. We fucking ridiculous about it. Okay, Sam was big into like Satanism and whatever. But he was in metal, you know. Whatever. It was just cool at the time. Whatever, you know. Sure, have at it. But he made his metal stick for us. And it's supposed to represent the goat.
Right.
But we'd be like, dude, it's a fork. And he'd be like, no, dude, it's a fork. No, but when I saw that stupid thing, I was like, God damn it. No one else on the planet has that. It's not a fashion statement that anybody wears other than Sam and Carl.
Right.
And the fact that, you know, it's not Sam.
So had they ever gotten into arguments, or what would be the motive for Sam to harm Carl?
Well, because like I said, I don't know if it's the exact same time period. I was told that possibly it was. But they said he thought that I was involved with this because of Katie and I flirting around the night before.
Right.
Okay, so here, whatever it was a hot, cold fall night. I remember it was like really shitty and cold out. And I walked into a place called Ron Wheeler's Lanes. And it's like a bowling alley. Possibly still is. I don't see Delevan being that much more advanced now. And her and this other kid was sitting on the bench there, and she was like crying and wet. And I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, Katie? Like, why are you hanging out crying? You know?" It's like, "Oh, Carl and I had a huge breakup. We're done. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't have a place to stay tonight." And I was just like, "Well, right next to us at Ron Wheeler's Lanes was the gas station, and next to the gas station was like a cheap motel place." And I was like, "Well, can I get you a room for the night? Like, at least for one night, you know, since it's not in the fucking rain." Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Well, this kid's with me. I don't know who the kid is, but sure, I'll get you." So I got him a room. We're hanging out there. We're like kind of flirting around and having a fun time. And the other kid gets really mad and like gets up and stomps out of the room. And I was like, "This is bullshit." I was like, "Oh shit!" And we all giggled and laughed. And she's like, "Well, I gotta go get him." And I was like, well, good luck with that, you know. And she fucked off to go get him, and I fucked off and figured off by night. And then the next night, or yeah, I guess it must have been like the next day, like short time period from that point, I get a phone call from Carl, and he's at 100, and he's like, you motherfucker, he's like, did you fucking fuck Katie? And I was like, whoa, dude, calm down, like, calm down. I was like, obviously he must have talked to this kid, and obviously the kid kind of blew it out of proportion a little bit, but I was like, calm down, dude. I was like, what's the big deal? You guys are over anyways, you know, what's the problem? And he's like, you know, I fucking love her. And I was like, whatever, dude. Like, you said you guys are over. Don't fuck off, you know? I was 17. Kind of told him to go fuck himself in a sense. And I told him, you know where I live. Fucking right here, Carl. Like, you want to come talk to me? Come talk to me. Like, that was it. And then the next day I get a phone call from the police. And they're like, hey, any reason why your telephone number would be carved into his kitchen table? And I was like, oh, fuck, he was mad. I was like, well, yeah. So I told them the same thing, you know. I was like, well, with Katie, you know, and he got mad, and he said he was going to come find me or come talk to me or whatever, and I've never seen him. So, like, for 27 years, I've just been kind of waiting for Carl to, like, pop up and be like, fucker. Yeah. No.
Why were the police looking for him?
I don't know. I never put that together. Like, how do they? I mean, okay, maybe. I guess I read the paper that he had broken out of jail.
Okay. Was he on the bracelet or something at that time, or
something? Like maybe
or just on paper?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know the Wikipedia article said that he had somehow got away from somebody, jail, work release, something that he was involved with he was not supposed to be leaving, and he did.
Right.
So maybe because of that, maybe they're just trying to put it back in jail. I don't know. That wasn't the questions that they asked.
Okay.
And to be honest, I don't remember. I don't know what cop it was at all in any way. Like, it was.
Okay.
One time they never followed up on it. They never had that conversation ever again, really, with them. So.
And after that
I'm
night,
sure it's on there somewhere.
Right. After that night, what did you guys talk about? Like.
With Carl?
Yeah, like you just assumed he left and went on his way.
Went on his way. We were all turning 18 around that time, and everybody was moving out one way or another. Like, we all joked around, like, you had to escape velocity to get out of Delevan, or Walworth County in a sense. And just by that, it means, like, you just got to get the fuck out of there and go as far as you can somewhere. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in Delevan for the rest of your life and, raise a kid and blah, 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 blah. I was like, fuck. But also, around that same time period for me, my mom had passed away, and then right after that my grandma had passed away, and my uncle had passed away. So it was like I was dealing with like a bunch of kind of trauma stuff going on there, and I just
Right.
kind of didn't notice Carl was gone.
Right.
We all noticed he wasn't there, but I mean, he was already at that point. He was already like in and out of jail. Like, he lived here for a little bit. I don't know if he's gone other places. So, like, Carl was, like, one of the first person that we thought actually got the fuck out of there. You know? Like, we're like, no, okay, it's possible. Yeah, I mean...
What was his family life like? Was he close with Cy? Because I know he had other, like, his dad, and they lived...
I knew he had a dad. Obviously.
Right.
But I never met him, never talked about him. I don't think it was I think he was... Summer. I mean, I don't think he was involved in their life in any way, shape, or form. To be honest, I don't know that though. I just not those things. But I remember his mom worked a lot, and she was always like stressed. Carl stressed her all the time, because he was doing stupid shit, and she was getting involved with the cops all the time, and money was getting put into all his legal fees and such. So like, when I say everybody's like, how in the hell could they not report him missing? I get so mad because I was like, man, that old lady just did not want any more shit. Like, she didn't want to like put out a missing report and then have him find him and then have to pay for that too. You know, like, Bobby, it's just different times then. Like,
yeah.
And like, Cy, his brother, my friend Skyler worked with him at Century, and he'd always ask us, you know, like, you guys seen Carl? Bobby out somewhere, you know. I'm like, all right. I went on for a while, obviously. Yeah, it just sucks that we landed in some ditch somewhere. But I don't think the whole river thing, and I think those are two different people. Yeah, the guy with the beard in the picture.
Oh, right.
Could not grow facial hair, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think he ever had any sort of scrub on his face, any way, shape, or form. So I don't know if that helps you in anything, but I noticed in the paper there seems to be like confusion about it.
Right, yeah. They had reports of a river guy that appeared intoxicated running through the creek.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like Carl, though.
Right.
So that's the problem.
And that's why it was similar times when we believe River Guy was around, and then when potentially Carl would have died. So.
Yes. No, I mean, I'm sure you have Carl's file, but like there was a time that Carl. We all joke about it. He got so inebriated he passed out in front of a cop in a puddle. You guys, is this any reports you guys have?
I haven't heard that one yet.
The cop was like, "What's this kid doing?" And then he sees like bubbles like blowing out, and the guy's like, "What the fuck?" And he fucking pulls Carl's head up out of the puddle, and Carl's just like, "Oh," and he's just like, "Jesus Christ!" And like he had like drank like a bottle of 151. So we all called him 151 Carl Killer. Not no more. It's a full pot now. But I was like, fucking Carl drowning in a puddle. It's not heard of. Like, fuck, dude. Like, we almost did it at the fair. Like, it was ridiculous. So if he was blacked out, flailing around in an argument, maybe.
Right.
It's not unheard of, but the facial hair and the look, not Carl.
Okay.
The attitude and the actions, very Carl.
Is there anyone that you know by the name of Mary?
I mean, Mary is Skylar's wife.
Okay.
Mary from Delevan?
Apparently the river guy was yelling something about Mary. So I didn't know if at the time that...
I don't know any Marys.
Okay.
Coming up here, Charlie's sister was married. No, not
like at that time, early 90s.
That time period, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, married would not be. I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of Sam's mom's name, but
I don't think her name is Mary.
To be honest.
I do, and it's not coming to me now. Right.
I know she used to go out with a guy called Greasy Bacon. That was a interesting family dynamics in that house.
Tell me a little bit about Sam and his.
Well, Sam was like.
His background. So you said he was into like Satanism.
Yeah, he wasn't from Delevan originally. He came in around like 8th grade or so.
Okay.
And he was all like metal and pentagrams and such, and Carl kind of took to him. But I mean, he was kind of a shy kid, kind of meek.
Okay.
Ish.
So he wasn't like aggressive, or did he get into fights?
No, not. There's one, like I said, did Carl come over and like threaten Katie? Maybe I could see him maybe stepping in and like my sister kind of thing. But no, he wasn't like that though. He wasn't an aggressive person. He wouldn't even talk much. He was a quiet, spoken person. but he was big into that creepy shit.
So part of the Satanism, sometimes they do rituals or sacrifice animals. Did you see them do any of that stuff?
The closest that end like that was Sam once found a dead dog, and he bleached the skull of it outside, and it was out there for like, I don't know how long it takes for that to happen, but he got so mad because we were all drunk one night and someone stumbled out in the yard and fucking stepped on it, and he was just like, I've been trying to get it, and we're like, dude, it's a fucking dead dog head, dude, shut up. But I mean, it was dead already, but I mean, it was kind of creepy, but no, nothing that would say that they're like into it, you know, like it was more like,
right,
like what the fuck are you doing? Like I said, we made fun of Carl still about it with the whole belief system. At least I did. It made no sense to me. But no, it wasn't like constantly like pray Satan, you know, like
right.
Like I said, it was in metal at the time. It was all over artwork and such. I mean, he was in a Slayer, but all of us have really kind of moved on to that kind of shit. And I looked at his page just recently once I got that shit. His fucking Facebook page creeps me out. I don't know if you've looked at it or not, but I was like, okay, Sam. Still into that shit, I see. So yeah, it was very disturbing. And then my friend Rob, like I said, he started poking around, and he called Sam up apparently, or called him a text or something, and he was going to tell him, hey, did you hear about Carl? And Sam was like, I don't know yet. And he's like, dude, it's me, Rob. He's like, Rob, I don't know, Rob. He was like, well, what about Ruben or Dan or Skyler or blah, 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 blah. And he was like, yeah, it's not ringing the bell. And he's like, what about your sister? What Katie? When was the last time you talked to Katie? And then he blocked him. So I was like, well, that seems sketchy as fuck. I was like, he forgot you, Rob? I was like, you forgot all of us, apparently. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I guess I would too.
Right. What does he have other friends like that he would hang out with too, Sam?
No.
It was just you guys?
In Delevan, it was just us. And then once he stopped hanging out with us, I didn't see Sam until a year later at the Warren County Fair. And it was for like a split second. And I was like, he was in the crowd, and Sam, what's up, dude? I haven't fucking seen you in like ages, dude. You know, it was only a year, but I think the first thing I asked him was, you never seen Carl? No, like, I haven't seen Carl. And he like kind of whited out, flushed a little bit, and I was like, oh, it looks like he's gonna get sick. I was like, you been having a good time, you know? And he mumbled some shit and fucking like wandered off. And I was just like, all right, Sam's having a good time, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Didn't even think about it, you know? I'm like, whatever, fuck it. Sam just drunk at a fair, like we always did. The Laurel County Fair was always end of the season in Walworth. I don't know if you know about the dynamics of Walworth, but Delevan and Darien would always clash at the Laurel County Fair. Well, kids, at least. We always did. Always. So it was just like, after that weekend of whatever stupid drunken debaucheries that we were doing for the weekend, we had to go to school. So it was like last hurrah to like get shit out. And so like we always just like would go way too far. And a lot of us would, you know, alcohol was involved.
Was there any drugs? Was there any drug of choice?
Like, weed. Everybody smokes weed. Yeah, and shitty weed at the time too. Delevan weed is the worst.
Any cocaine or LSD or anything like that?
Sure. Everybody was. I'm not really with coke. I mean, I guess there was a lot of acid going around for a little while. I don't think I really got any shrooms until I came to Madison here. And then Madison, good God, this town had a big coke thing going on. It was scary. Like a couple years ago, fentanyl ran through Madison here.
Yeah, it's
and
everywhere.
I think I lost like 3 or 4 people that I knew that were doing a fun night. Let's do a little coke.
Yeah,
And somebody that was
recreational.
like, here you go, and it fucking killed him.
Yeah.
So I was never into coke myself, but I was like, I'm never touching that shit again because you don't know what's in it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, we were just talking about that on the way up
I
here.
was like, why can't we fucking dye fentanyl black?
Right.
Like, wouldn't that be great? Look
Right.
down in coke and see like a black fleck and be like, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I
Right.
think they can dye fucking everything else in the world, but they can't fucking do that to help save.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, no. I was never into that.
Okay.
So the most I really did was I kind of like acid. When I was in high school, it was cheap. Delevan was boring. So
Right.
fucking boring. So 8 hours of fun.
Right, gotta make your own
like
fun.
$2. Yeah, it was great. But yeah, it gets old.
Right.
As with everything.
Did Seth tell you who his roommate was? You said you weren't sure who his roommate was. I can ask him too. I'll call him.
He did tell me the name, but it doesn't make any sense to me why they would know.
Right.
Honestly.
Okay.
But nonetheless, the fact that the story was so accurate, I couldn't deny it. Maybe
Right.
someone, maybe they fucking aced the made-up story. Ace it! But so much that it made my stomach flip, so I don't
Right.
think that's possible. I don't think it's possible.
Could you see Carl or Sam being able to overtake Carl?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, especially if Carl was inebriated. Carl's fighting style was a turtle. He did every time he got in a fight, he would fall on his back, put his feet up, and just like kick. So Carl was not a threat. I'm telling you, like, there's no. I don't think Carl, unless he had a knife. I mean, the cop said that there was a knife stabbed in the table. So I mean, he did. That's an action, and you gotta do it intentionally. But he left it on the table.
Right. What about Sam? Did he carry any weapons? Okay.
Maybe he probably had a knife on him mostly, like a little pocket knife. But I mean, I wasn't really that good of friends with Sam. I mean, he was just like I said. He came in like 7th, 8th grade. He was there. We all hung out, but like my friends were Delevan friends. We all knew each other for years.
Right.
I think Sam was okay, but and then he just kind of him and his whole family up and left. Now Katie would come around my household after the phone call for like a week or two, and this is in my head looking back. It makes me kick myself for being just a shitty 17-year-old penis. But okay, so prior to that phone call from the cops, Katie was this fun young girl, smiling, giggling, a little rebellious kind of thing, you know, sure. But she's always like there, hanging out in the background with us, you know. Fun, you know. Maybe, you know, a bit naughty. Maybe she just shit to, you know, make Sam and us yell at her or something. But I'm sure it was for the attention, you know. And she had like nice long hair, like girl hair. Oh God, this. But long hair. And then I got the phone call from the cops, and then she started coming to my house, and she had shaved her head, wore just like straight like boys' clothes, and would cry and sleep in my house all the time. And I'll be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, are you mad that you didn't see him, or you and Carl broke up? You know?" And then she started crying, and I was like, "What are you fucking? What's your problem? Like, Carl's a piece of shit. Like, fuck him. You know, you can probably do better. Just, you know, you're safe here. You don't have to worry about." And then she would fall asleep and such, and she was miserable. She was just miserable. And my sister came over one time, and she was just like, pulled me aside, and she's like, "Something's wrong with her, man." And I was like, "Yeah." She's like being weird, you know. She's like, "No, Dan, like, no, there's something wrong with her." And I was like, "Well, you can figure it out. Good luck, you know." I didn't. I told Katie pretty much to go fuck herself. When you want to come hang out and have a good time, come over. But like, quit coming over in this miserable piece of shit. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see now maybe if she obviously saw something, knew something, something happened. I mean, her to change your whole demeanor like that, I feel is kind of
right.
I was like, what, 18, 17? I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Do you know where she's at now?
No. So that's the thing that bothered me the most about Rob. Rob started calling up and answering about Sam and such. And then he said he fucking went further and started getting a hold of his sister. And he said to me that the sister's missing. Katie's nowhere to be found. And that's not cool either. But maybe she... Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
But the fact that she's not... He said missing. He said missing. So I was just like what? Maybe she heard about it a long time ago. And, you know, that's why she was sad then, you know, obviously. But what if she got sick of it and said something to Sam, like, I'm going to say, he did something else. I don't know. Right. I don't know. Okay. I couldn't comprehend doing it once, for Christ's sakes. You know, like, okay, maybe, wouldn't you try to CPR or something? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But twice, but yeah, it worries me. It worries me.
Okay.
It worries me a lot, actually. What? And also, Sam's friends with, apparently, one of my ex-girlfriends in Elkhorn. She follows him.
Okay.
I don't know. They're friends. I haven't talked to her in a hot minute.
Okay.
Hot minute. But nonetheless, though, I mean, I cared for her once, and the fact that those two are connected in any way, shape, or form is just like, fuck you, dude.
Right. Do you know anybody else that you think would be beneficial for me to talk to that you haven't already told me about?
No. No, I mean, honestly, Carl kept to a small group. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has more friends than us. There's lots of people in Delevan that knew Carl. He was, I wouldn't say he was a social person. Kind of kept himself, you know, but there was a small group of kids that were like kind of metal. We're metal kids. And at the time we were very ostracized. We didn't really think that was very cool. So I mean, that whole community knew Carl in the metal community, but as for like friends though, hung out daily. That would be like me. That would be like Rob, Sam. Rob. He was there for. Rob also moved in the 90s. Again, we all kind of turned 18, and either one somewhere, one way or another. I had when I turned 18, I had gotten a lawsuit settlement, so I got a bunch of money. So I was like also spending. I think I spent $150,000 in like 4 months in 94, so somewhere in there, right in that time period. When I turned 18, God, how do I not know what time that was? And I didn't know I was even getting that money. Because it happened when I was a kid, 10, I had an accident. And so I was just traveling and buying stuff and having a good time. Again, everybody's just doing their own thing.
Right.
We didn't keep in touch like with phone. People didn't really phone each other. We don't. It was like you run into each other once in a while, or eventually Facebook showed up, you know, and everybody kind of met up on Facebook once again. But
right.
I haven't thought of Sam in years, really. Like I said, he was kind of a weirdo out of the group of my kids that I hung out with.
Right.
Wasn't really big, and I'm like, hey, Sam, let's hang out again. Doug's sisters, they were fun. Yeah,
Anything about Carl that you think's important that I haven't asked you about or we haven't talked about?
Well, no, he wasn't a religious person. Me and Ruben and Rob were the ones that went and visited his grave.
When was that? Recently? Or
Yeah, on Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday? Father's Day. It was Father's Day.
Okay.
Yeah, we're like, we gotta get together. We gotta do something for the guy. Like, he's fucking been sitting there all by himself for years, dude. Like, at least at least we can find him. And that was kind of difficult in the first place. We went to the wrong graveyard. It's kind of a small,
Yeah, Johnstown. Yeah, it's
place. And we
quite
went
small.
to the old Johnstown first. And like we get in there and we're like looking around. And I'm like instantly like, hey, he's not here, dude. And they're like, dude, it says he's here. And I was like, I'm telling you, man, everything in my gut tells me he's not at this fucking place, dude. I was like, why are where are they gonna put him in a corner or something? And so small thing. When we walk all up now, that's also why I'm fucking sunburnt. I've been peeling like a ridiculous. Didn't even think about it. I think we slept there for hours. Anyways, this ain't it. And so they were like, well, we'll try, you know, like, I guess we don't have to go see his tomb, or grave, or whatever. I was like, anyways, so we were driving back towards Madison, and I fucking randomly looked over to my right, and I saw like a farmhouse, and behind the farmhouse, behind all this shit, I saw like 2 or 3 graves on a hill, and I was like, dude, I just saw some graves over there, and they're like, no way, and I was like, I don't know, behind this farmhouse, like, they wouldn't put a graveyard behind this fucking place, would they? Sure enough, there it was. And I was like, holy shit. Let's check this place out. So we go up there, and Rob was driving. He's like, where should we park, man? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, park up by that tree up there. And we park up there, and we're like, all right, I got a good feeling about this place. And we fucking step out, take like 10 steps or so. There's fucking Carl's grave. And it was just like, dude, he let us right to you, man. I was like, cool. And shitty. Fuck, he's down there. I mean, so it was nice. It was, like I said, it felt like we really were kind of directed to him. But, God, yeah, it's like, I mean, it's kind of all the way. That's a nice grave. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Rob was like, yeah, man, we should get him a cross. And me and Ruben were like, no, dude, like, I can't say that Carl was like into Satanism or anything, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't into the cross. I was like, we put his name on there and like the dates and stuff, but no frivolous stuff, no crosses or Jewish. And then Rob's like, okay, yeah. so if that is anything to help with, don't put any crosses on it. I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, but I don't think that's what he would want after 27 years. Like, and fuck you, Carl.
I know that there was discussion about his headstone, so I'll let you know once I hear anything about what's going to happen with that.
Gotcha. My friend Ruben is also in the process of looking into it.
Okay.
Or if not, just making one, and he's going to pay for it and charges. There was discussion. We haven't gone any further than discussion. We didn't know if it was like, if we can even do anything. Like I said, I thought...
Yeah, no, I think absolutely. Once his... they're in the court process of changing his death certificate to put his given name on it. And then once that's done, then I think the headstone can be changed. Yeah. Yep. So I can let you know when that process is done. It usually takes a few weeks.
Okay.
So
I'd like that. Just keep me in touch.
This has been... I've been had this case for... this will be my 9th year coming up. So it's been a long time trying to get him his name.
About it? Like, when it said that you guys maybe knew about it like in a couple years ago. I don't remember what the numbers were, but
yeah. So once the process of the genetic testing, genealogy, that type of stuff started, it was pretty quick that we found out his name.
Okay.
But before that, his name had not come up.
Okay.
So.
And you guys, I'm sure you guys probably put those flyers all over Rock County. I'm assuming.
Yeah, unfortunately, so
never made the Walworth County.
Yeah, so Walworth,
all was were.
and thinking because of that location, a lot of the detectives and everybody thought that he would be a local person, and that our news would get to you guys. Well, apparently you guys are in the Milwaukee news.
Yep.
So it was never circulating that way.
Yeah.
I think that it was just something that
I think my friend Skyler, when he was out in California, saw something on the news.
So
and he was like, "Wow, that looks like someone that we would actually hang out with." And he was just like, "Jesus!"
Right.
And like I was talking about Carl.
Yeah.
Like,
So it'd be over in California because that's the DNA Doe Project is out of California. So they were circulating their kind of stuff over there.
It worked.
It just wasn't ever making it to Walworth County.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
So.
And again, if he did, the picture didn't look like Carl. I mean, it did.
Right.
This looks like Carl. I swear to God, I was like, damn. I was like,
yeah.
Good job.
Once we had his actual picture, I thought it was pretty remarkable what they
hair
did.
threw me off though.
Right.
But that shit was like perfectly straight. And I was like, oh,
right.
It's right here. I don't even brush his hair. But no, it's. I'm so glad to just say something about it. Again, I've talked to a lot of people, my friends. Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck do I do with that kind of information? You know, like.
Right.
It's just been sitting with me. Now, I'm just hoping for years that it's just wrong.
Right.
Some New Year's party. You don't get you don't get information like that on New Year's. Like I was like hitting on a girl, I was having a good time, and like this dude kept like coming up to me and like I was like, "What is up with you, Seth?" Like, "Oh, dude." Like,
right.
And then he dropped that shit on me, and I was just like, "What? Like, why now? Like, why the fuck did you just tell me that he's a water? You know, it's been bugging me for years." And I was like, "Well, now it's gonna fucking bug me."
Right.
Just too detailed. Like I said, I've always expected a conversation like, "Oh, I've seen Carl at the optometrist," you know, or "Oh, I saw him in Janesville at the gas station." Like how almost all the other people I've like not seen in years, like, "Oh no, I saw him over there," you know, and never happened with Carl. I mentioned, "Hey, you guys see Carl?"
Right. And you were saying, I don't know if we clarified that Seth had told you that Sam drowned him.
Drowned him.
That Sam drowned Carl.
I think what he said to me was they got in an argument and Sam killed him and left him in a creek. I think that's the wording he told me. Not necessarily drowned him.
Okay.
But killed him. But how do you kill someone in a river? I mean, I might have. It's been 10 years. I might,
right.
You know, but I'm pretty sure the way he told me originally, he said Sam killed him. Okay. You hear about Sam killing Paul and leaving him in the creek, whatever. And I'm like, oh. But I'm speculating. One way that's probably only way I could see that happening was Sam drowning.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like I said, but why? If Carl came over and was in an argument at the house, why they outside in the creek? Like I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't see how it. I don't understand. There's a lot I don't understand with it. Mm-hmm. Why would you guys not be in the house? Why would it not be? I don't know. I don't get it.
Right.
I don't understand what could possibly have happened to have this scenario fucking end the way that scenario ended.
Did either of them have a vehicle at the time?
No. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think Sam did. I don't 100% know about Carl.
Okay.
As I said, he lived up here for a hot moment, but I've managed to get around without a car too forever. So I mean,
right.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, that I'll put in my head. I was thinking like Sam was a small guy.
Right.
He would have to leave him wherever he did it, or at least try to revive him or something. But like, then I was thinking, why in the fuck was he in Janesville? And I was like, well, if I guess he was in a creek, he was kind of floated down the river.
Right.
I don't know how far, where, what. Like if he was in the creek or outside the creek. I don't know. That kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just in my head. It's just ugly.
Right.
I don't understand what could have happened. So again, yeah, and then the whole family kind of disappeared.
Okay.
But it was also at the same time. Everybody was all
kind of went their separate ways.
Everybody was going on. Everyone
Right.
was. It wasn't just like one of us is going off. It was maybe one of us did.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right.
It's sad to think that such a weird coincidence in timing and everything.
Right.
And everything. But again, that was just the times. It was different. It's just different times. Like we didn't have phones. We didn't have cameras. I mean, there was cameras places, but like everybody was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe there's a camera there."
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, camera. You know, like. Now everybody's like, "Oh, thank God that camera's there." Like I'm looking at one right across the street right now, like, everywhere now. And it helped so much. But at that time, nothing was documented. We were damn near Stone Ages.
Well, I'm going to leave you my card so that if you hear from any other of your friends that want to talk to me, please have them give me a call. My cell phone's on the other side. The
numbers that they told me,
okay,
asked me to make sure to give you.
Okay.
Rob really wants to talk to you on it, but again, he doesn't. Rob had no awareness of this story until I told him.
Okay.
But he's the one that was calling up Katie's daughters and found out that Katie was missing.
Okay.
So that's how I found out.
What is Katie's last name right now? Or what? Okay.
Samuel's son
is what you knew her as back then?
Yeah, and that's where I found her on Facebook.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And it was for her wedding pictures, and that was in 2011.
Okay.
But there's not been a post from her since 2011. So.
Okay.
What?
All
but
right.
again, Rob was like poking, and then when I talked to him, I was like, "Stop poking that." I was like, "I don't want him to have any idea in any way, shape, or form that anybody's talking about him, dude." Like, honestly, like, it's cool that you found that out. It really, really bothers me more that more shit could have happened. And if I would have said something maybe earlier, maybe, whatever. Speculative at this moment. It's not good speculation, but still speculative. Yeah. I hope to know more about it as soon as you can tell me more about it.
As soon as I can, I'll keep you updated and I'll let you know. I'll let you know about the headstone.
Don't leak
as soon as it's
with Sam. I'll give a shit. I want him to get charged, but I'm more worried, honestly, about Katie right now.
Right.
If you can give me information about that, if you guys hear them, please tell me so I can stop worrying about that as well.
Okay.
Because I'd hate to be somehow. I feel somewhat slightly responsible for the whole fucking thing, you know? Because Kate and I were flirting around the night before, but 18-year-old kids flirting around.
Right.
I'm not gonna.
Right. You can't put that on yourself.
It's not my fault.
Right.
Not my fault.
Right.
But I didn't do it. I didn't do that. But I'm a thread. And I feel like something. I feel responsible. I do.
Right. Well.
I know. I don't. Everybody's like, "No, Dan, that's stupid." It's like, no, dude. I kind of do. Like, what if we didn't fucking? I didn't see you that night. You know, like the whole fucking thing, whatever. But whatever. That's not what happened. That's what.
Right. Well, and you just think on it. If you think of anything else that you think is important, give me a shout.
I give you.
And I'll give the other guys a call, and then but I'll keep you updated on what I can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you meeting with us. I know that you had to work last night, so I appreciate it.
No, I'm this is like since I've read about it and heard about it, my hands have been just like.
Yeah.
So this is I'm giving you the information.
Yep, and I appreciate that. I really do.
Please run with it and do what you guys are supposed
and we will.
to do, because
we will.
It's not something that I can do anything with, other than me finding Sam my own accord and getting my information information on our own accord, and that's not going to help.
Right,
anyway.
right. No, let us keep going, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Thank you. And
All right.
what's your name again?
Dwayne.
Dwayne, thank you, Dwayne. Are you involved with this as well? or-
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're the-
He's
you're the
another
quiet-
detective.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just here for moral support.
right.
Well, I needed it. Right. I guess I had backup.
There you go. Yeah.
I got this for you. So,
I know. I don't drink coffee. It's wild, but I don't.
thank you.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
Out there.
Excuse us.
No sweat.